Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. We love to take those sometimes really long and dry government reports
Yeah.
and turn them into something hopefully you actually want to listen to.
Absolutely. And this is part of the Think and Act Locally initiative, right?
Yeah,
Being informed, it all starts right here in Deer Park.
it does. And we know that everybody's busy and nobody really wants to sit down and just go through pages and pages of data.
Exactly.
But these reports, they have a lot of important stuff in them.
Yeah, they really do. They give you a good insight as to, what's going on in our community, things that affect us all, whether we know it or not.
Absolutely. So think of us as like your friendly neighborhood decoders.
Yes.
We're going to sift through it and bring you the good stuff, the fun stuff.
The juicy bits.
Exactly, the juicy bits. So today we are diving into the December 2024 Economic Development Newsletter.
Oh, this is a good one.
It is. It's a good one. So if you want to kind of get an idea of, the pulse of Deer Park, how's the economic health? How are we looking? You know what's going on.
Where are we headed?
This is a good place to start.
Absolutely.
So first up, we have a spotlight on a new business. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, another new business.
Right.
But trust me, this one's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a jiu-jitsu world champion,
Wow.
Washington Lewis,
Yeah.
who has decided to relocate his academy from Pasadena to right here in Deer Park.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're talking two-time Master World Champion, two-time Abu Dhabi Pro Champion, and Nogi World Champion.
That's quite the resume.
It is. It's very impressive. So
Yeah.
this is a big get for Deer Park.
Absolutely. And, this is more than just a personal victory for Mr. Lewis. New businesses, especially ones that have kind of a unique offering, like that they bring a lot of energy to a community, new jobs, potentially attracting new residents.
Definitely. And just adds to that appeal.
Absolutely.
It's like having a celebrity athlete right in our backyard.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. And speaking of things that make Deer Park attractive, let's talk about the housing market. So the Houston Association of Realtors ranked Deer Park as the 8th hottest housing market
Wow.
in the area.
Number 8.
We beat out
That's great.
some of those trendy inner loop neighborhoods.
Yeah, like Montrose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant.
It is. It shows that, Deer Park is becoming increasingly desirable,
Right.
which can lead to further growth and investment in the community.
Absolutely.
It also reflects kind of a broader national trend of people seeking more affordable options in the suburbs,
Great. Yeah.
So they want more bang for their buck.
Exactly. So whether you're a homeowner thinking about buying, this is definitely something to keep in mind.
Something to watch.
Yeah. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something for the younger crowd.
Okay.
Survive the Escape Room on Center Street is now hosting a teen night every Friday.
Fun.
So they've got games, pizza soda, and even a classic PlayStation for some retro gaming.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those old PlayStations.
It's really cool. And, it's great to see local businesses catering to different age groups.
Absolutely. It creates kind of a sense of inclusivity.
Right.
And it shows that, Deer Park values its younger residents. And let's be honest,
Yeah.
who doesn't love a good escape room?
Exactly. Everybody loves an escape room. Okay, so now for something a little bit different,
Okay.
something you might not think about every day. The Houston Pilots Association, they are celebrating their 100th anniversary.
Wow.
100 years. And guess what?
What?
They are based right here in Deer Park,
No way.
in Durwood Glen Business Park.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are the skilled professionals who guide ships safely through the Port of Houston.
A very important job.
Very crucial role.
Absolutely.
So, their work is vital not only for Deer Park, but for the entire region's economy.
Oh, absolutely. The Port of Houston is, it's a major economic engine for this whole area.
It is.
And the Houston pilots play a critical role in keeping things running smoothly. They ensure the safe passage of goods and materials impacting businesses and consumers far beyond our city limits.
It's really fascinating to see those connections.
Yeah.
You know how something happening right here has such a wide-reaching impact.
The ripple effect.
Exactly. All right, so now let's move on to a true homegrown success story.
All right, love those.
Shell Federal Credit Union, or SFCU as most people know them.
Yeah.
They were ranked number 7 on the Houston Chronicle's top workplaces list, and this is the 14th year in a row
Wow.
that they've achieved this recognition.
14 years in a row, that's impressive.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show their commitment to creating a positive work environment.
Absolutely.
And SFCU has deep roots in our community. They've been serving Deer Park since 1937.
Wow.
Which is just incredible.
Yeah.
A testament to their dedication to serving the financial needs of our residents.
The long history.
Very long history. And here's a bonus.
Okay.
They have an open membership policy.
Oh, wow.
So if you live, worship, or go to school in Harris County, you can join SFCU.
That's fantastic.
It's really great to have such a reputable financial institution.
Yeah.
Deeply invested in the well-being of our community.
Absolutely.
All right, now attention, all entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Okay.
There is a fantastic resource that you need to know about.
All right, I'm listening.
It's called the Space Alliance Technology Outreach Program,
Okay.
or SATOP for short.
SATOP got it.
So this program offers free technical assistance to small businesses across Texas.
Free.
Free.
Wow.
It's like having a team of experts on call to help you overcome those challenging hurdles that many startups and growing businesses face.
That's a game changer.
It has the potential to be a game changer for our local economy.
Absolutely.
By empowering small businesses to succeed, SATOP is contributing to job creation, innovation, and overall economic growth.
Yeah.
So if you are a business owner or thinking of starting a business, definitely check out SATOP.
I agree 100%. This is a valuable resource that could make all the difference in your success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, before we move on, we want to take a quick look at the bits and pieces section of the newsletter.
Well,
This is where they pack in a bunch of, interesting tidbits about things happening in and around Deer Park.
I love those little snippets.
It's a great way to stay connected to the broader community.
Yeah,
And, see how Deer Park fits into the bigger picture.
exactly.
So first up, San Jacinto College is once again a finalist for the prestigious Aspen Prize.
Wow, that's amazing.
So for those who don't know, the Aspen Prize is like the Oscars for community colleges.
Oh, wow.
So San Jacinto College has consistently ranked among the top 10 in the nation.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal for our area.
Yeah,
It speaks volumes about the quality of education
absolutely.
available right here in our backyard.
In our backyard.
And remember, their central campus is in Pasadena,
Right.
so it's easily accessible to many in our community.
Very convenient.
It is. And they cater to a diverse student body, graduates ranging in age from 14 to 74.
Wow.
So, it's never too late to pursue your educational goals.
Lifelong learning at its best.
Exactly. And speaking of learning new things, did you know that Houston is the exact same distance from Kansas City, Missouri, as it is from El Paso, Texas?
Really?
Huh.
I did not know that.
744 miles, to be precise.
Wow, that's a fun fact.
It is. It's a fun little fact. Highlights our unique geographical position.
Yeah.
Okay, last bit from Bits and Pieces. And this one brings us right back to Deer Park.
Okay.
If you've ever bought water-based paint
Uh-huh.
from major retailers like Lowe's, Home Depot, or Sherwin-Williams,
Oh, yeah.
you've likely used ingredients from our very own Dow Chemical facility.
Really?
So they are the world's largest producer of methacrylic and acrylic monomers, which are essential components in many paints.
Huh.
So it just highlights how deeply integrated Deer Park is into the global supply chain,
Wow, that's fascinating. I never would have thought about that.
right? You just go and buy paint,
Right.
and you don't think about where it comes from.
Yeah, but it's really cool to know that we're part of that.
It is, and it's just a reminder that even seemingly ordinary products can have a fascinating backstory
Yeah,
and a connection to our community.
absolutely.
So there you have it, a whirlwind tour through some of the highlights from the December 2024 Deer Park Economic Development newsletter.
Wow, that was a lot to unpack.
It was.
Very interesting.
It was a lot, but, we covered a lot of ground from jiu-jitsu champions to paint ingredients.
Absolutely.
But what does it all really mean?
Well, it means that there's a lot happening in Deer Park, both big and small.
Right.
From new businesses and a thriving housing market to community initiatives and even those fun facts
Yeah.
that connect us to the wider world.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that Deer Park is a dynamic place with a lot to offer.
Absolutely. And as we've seen, these local developments often tie into larger trends and have implications far beyond our city limits.
It's all interconnected, and that's why it's so important to stay informed about what's happening right here in our community. Even if you don't have time to read every report, this deep dive, gives you the key takeaways.
Exactly. We're doing the heavy lifting for you so you can be a more informed and engaged citizen.
There you go.
And speaking of being engaged, this newsletter really highlights the Think and Act Locally spirit.
It does. It's more than just a slogan. It's a call to action. The newsletter showcases the positive impact that happens when people get involved, whether it's starting a business, supporting local organizations, or simply staying informed about the issues that affect our community.
Right. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of Deer Park.
Absolutely. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we have one more thing to cover from the newsletter.
We do. That's
Yeah.
right. We can't forget the call to action at the end.
Exactly.
So the newsletter encourages all residents to subscribe and stay updated on the latest happenings.
Yep.
It's a free and easy way to stay in the loop.
Absolutely. Think of it as your direct line to the pulse of Deer Park. You'll get insights into new developments, business opportunities, and community events.
Exactly. We've seen the amazing things happening in Deer Park, from economic growth to community initiatives and even fun facts that connect us to the wider world.
Yeah.
But it's not just about observing these developments from the sidelines.
Right. The Think and Act Locally initiative encourages us to take an active role in shaping our community's future.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
Yeah.
but now it's time to kind of turn the focus to you.
Yes.
What stood out to you from this newsletter? What sparked your interest? What resonated with you?
I love that.
And most importantly, how can you as a resident of Deer Park contribute to the positive momentum we've seen?
That's a great question.
Think about it. What are your unique skills and passions? How can you use them to make a difference in your community?
Maybe it's supporting local businesses, volunteering your time to a cause you care about, or simply spreading the word about the positive things happening in Deer Park. Every action, no matter how small, can have a ripple effect.
Absolutely. Deer Park's success isn't a spectator sport. It's a team effort.
We're all in this together.
We are. We all have a role to play. So as you go about your day, think about how you can think and act locally.
Explore the resources we've mentioned, connect with your neighbors, and find your own way to contribute to the vibrant tapestry of Deer Park.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the heart of our community. But until then, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep making Deer Park a place we're all proud to call home.